Okay, so here's the second part of this video that has to do with solving absolute value inequalities. So you can just keep taking the notes on the same page that you were doing a few minutes ago. But today what we're going to focus on is how to solve them if they are greater than. Okay, so we already did less thans. I'll review that at the end of this video, but let's do a greater than. So let's say the absolute value of x plus 3 is greater than 8. Okay, now again, you don't hear any sounds, so I'm not thinking about less thans and sandwiches. I hear this is greater than. Now remember, the first one you write down is always exactly as it looks without the bars. Okay, that's whether it's a sandwich or an or, it doesn't matter, exactly as it looks. Notice, again, I just dropped the bars, but everything else is the same. Now again, because it is a greater than, this is an or. Remember, for or inequalities, you have to write the or. Or what? Well, now you take the same x plus 3 and make it go the opposite, because remember what I told you about ors. Ors are opposite. So make the symbol go the opposite way with negative 8. Not that bad. Not that easy either. But let's see what we can do now. So subtract 3 from each side. You're going to have x is greater than 5. Or subtract 3 from each side, and x is going to be less than negative 11. And there we go. We have it. Okay, we have solved for x, our or, our greater than inequality. Now remember how I taught you to graph an or is you put the negative 11 on one side, the positive 5. Again, you want to do your number line in the proper order, so negative 11 should be over here. 5 should be over there. Circles at both that don't get colored in. And now we're going to shade opposite directions. Okay, and you can double check your shading to see if it's right. Greater than 5, we're going towards the 6. Less than negative 11, we're going to the left. So there we go, we have it. All right, let's try another one. So we'll call that number 1. Let's try a question 2. Now again, the bars have to be alone. That's important. So 3 absolute value of x minus 4 is greater than or equal to 18. Not time to go home yet. Don't go turning off the lights now. Okay, stay in here with me. All right, so here's what we got. We got a 3 sitting out front. Remember, you can never distribute this. You got to move it to the other side. So divide each side by 3 to make that happen. All right, so absolute value of x minus 4 is going to be greater than or equal to 6. Greater than. It's an or. So remember, the first one you write down is always exactly as you see without bars. And then your or, remember, they're going to be opposites. So you're going to have x minus 4. The stuff inside the bars does not change the way it looks. It's still x minus 4 over here. But now here comes the opposite. Opposite symbol with negative 6. Okay, again, ors are opposites. Add 4 to each side here. X is greater than or equal to 10. Or add 4 to each side here to get x is less than or equal to negative 2. Okay, piece of cake. Piece of cake. Number line graph. Negative 2 over here. 10 over there. Circles at both. They're going to get colored in. And then again, ors go opposite directions. There we go, we have it. Okay, we got it. Okay? All right, let's try this. Now, what I'm going to do for these next two is I only want to set them up. I don't want to solve anything at the end. Okay, so do we have it down, the correct setup for x minus 7 is greater than 10? Do you have it down? Do you understand how to set it up? Okay, it's a greater than. But whether it's a sandwich or an or, the first one we write exactly as we see it. Okay, so the first one exactly as we see it. Now, it's a greater than, so it's an or, greater than. And now x minus 7. Again, we never change what's in the bars, but now opposite symbol with negative 10. Okay, and you know what to do to solve. Add 7 to each side. Okay, let's try a fourth one here. Absolute value of x minus 7 is less than 10. And you might be saying to yourself, whoa, 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 you just wrote the same question. No, I didn't. Look at it. This one was greater than. This one is now less than. Less than, sandwich, same. Again, the first one gets written exactly as you see it without the bars. Okay, once you've got the stuff alone. And now the symbols are going to go the same way because less thans get sandwiched. The symbols go the same way with negative 10. Right? Do you have it? I hope so. Okay. One more, just to make sure. Let's solve this one all the way through. Negative 2, absolute value of x minus 4, the minus 4 is outside, is less than negative 10. Okay, so we need to get the bar stuff by itself. Well, first thing we're going to do is add 4 to make that happen. So negative 2, absolute value of x, is less than negative 6. We're going to divide each side by negative 2. We got it. But remember, when I divide by a negative, I got to flip the symbol. Absolute value of x is now greater than 3. Greater than 3. Okay, so we got a greater than situation. X is greater than 3 is what we're going to write first, exactly as it is, no bars. Or x is less than negative 3. It's going to go the opposite way. Ors are opposites with negative 3. All right, now I'm glad you're staying with me till the end. Make sure you do, because now I need to talk about two special cases. Okay, make sure that you have studied this. Okay, here we go. Two special cases. Absolute value of x plus 3 is less than negative 4. Okay, you might remember from equations, let me just go back when we did equations, absolute value of x plus 3 equals negative 4. We said when we did the equations, how is it possible that something that is always positive ever going to equal a negative? How is something that is always positive ever going to equal a negative? It's impossible. It's not going to happen. So we said this is no solution. Now, be careful. That may or may not be the answer here. You have to stop and think. Okay, so here's what I'm saying. I got the bars alone, and it's saying that it's less than a negative. Anytime this number over here that's left over is a negative, ding, 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 stop. Alarm should go off. In your mind, I got to stop and think about this. Okay, now listen. This is always positive. When is something that's always positive ever going to be less than a negative? Is it ever going to be less than a negative? No, it's never going to be less than a negative. So the answer here is no solution. But now letter B, what if it had been absolute value of x plus 3 is greater than negative 4? So now it's greater than. Well, when is something that's always positive going to be greater than a negative? Always. And when it's always that way, you can say one or two things. All real numbers, we had that in the equation solving unit. Or you can write infinitely many solutions. That means that everything works for x. Every single thing, there's nothing that does not work. All right? Okay, so between the two videos, you should have a pretty good idea what's going on. You should be able to now go and do page 360 and get that thing submitted. All right, enjoy the rest of your day. Get this work done. Not easy. You don't remember how to do it. You got to go back to the video. See you in class.